Well, hey everyone, my name is Nathan Jones, and if you're new here, welcome. I like to talk about all things movies, specifically Blu-rays, and today we're going to say Happy New Year. You know, this is the first video of the new year. Happy 2022 to everyone. I hope everyone is doing good. It is currently very, very snowy outside where I'm at. It came out of nowhere. There was no snow last night. There's like a couple inches now, so not much snow. But anyway, today is probably the title suggests. There's a few things that we want to talk about. I'm coming up on my 5th anniversary on YouTube, which is insane to me. I also noticed the other day that I just crossed 2,500 subscribers, so I want to say thank you so much for all your support and all the people who have been here. You know, new and old. This is just, I never expected to be, you know, this far with this, because this is just something that I love doing. I love talking about film with all of you, and I hope you do too, and I hope you enjoy watching these kind of videos. With the 5th anniversary coming up, I would love to do a Q&A, a live stream Q&A on the 21st of January. I will be putting more information about it down in the description down below. I'm still determining what the best time is, try to figure out what the best time frame to get a lot of people, because I know I have people in the States and also in the UK and elsewhere too. I have a lot of people I want to, like, you know, jump on board and see this live, and also I can answer some questions for you. But I would love to do that because first, you know, we hit the 5th year anniversary, and then also 2,500 subscribers is a big deal to me. So I wanted to say thank you for everyone and your support. This means a lot. It means a lot to me. All right, in addition to that, let's actually just jump into a few things that I've been doing for December. December was a weird month for me. As I probably put in a past video not too long ago, I was talking about how I was going to do like a November kind of a recommendation video, kind of my Q series, what I've been watching and stuff. So this is like a partially that for the December months, but I went old school with this one, and I totally wanted to watch some fantasy, and I wanted to watch some comfort films, so, you know, things behind me. So what I did first was I watched the Harry Potter films on 4K. I got this recently, maybe a couple months ago. It was on sale, and I'm like, you know what? It's been a long time since I watched Harry Potter, and I rewatched these all in 4K, and man, this was such a fun journey. It took me a while because work just kills me, but I finally watched them all, and man, this was such a fun journey. It solidified my love of the 3rd and 5th films. Those are like my favorite two, mainly because of Lupin and Sirius. But yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen this series, and you know, the 4K transfers are actually pretty good. I will say maybe the first two films, because they were made in the early 2000s, maybe the CGI isn't as good as it could be, but regardless, you know, those films are still fun and nostalgic for me, because I mean, I grew up with this stuff. So but yeah, this was a really fun journey, seeing this all unfold, and yeah. This is something I wanted to do for the holidays, is watch the Harry Potter films. And yeah, I don't know how I would rank these films, but you know, near the end, when I was getting to the Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2, I reevaluated some of those, and because I think the first Deathly Hallows I was not necessarily in love with the first time around, but I've come to enjoy it a little bit more. So what do you think of the Harry Potter series? Do you have the 4K transfers? Have you seen them on 4K? What do you think about them? Let me know in the comment section down below. But yeah, Harry Potter, I had to jump into this. And sticking right with the fantasy mood, I had to go to my favorite films of all time. They're behind me on DVD and extended, but I have the extended trilogy on 4K right here in the steelbook form, which is pretty much the only way to have it, this way, or maybe the normal box set with the extended. But the unfortunate thing is this does not have any of the legacy features, which is really just insane, and don't even get me started on that Middle Earth collector's set. But let's look at these really close in particular. So I watched the Fellowship of the Ring on the 23rd of December. I wanted to do this 23rd, 24th, 25th. Didn't want to, I do not have time to marathon these anymore. I've gotten old and also impatient too. But anyway, Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, my favorite particular film of the franchise. I am a huge Boromir fan. I don't know if you can see, but there's Boromir kind of cut off a little bit. I love Sean Bean, and yeah, I don't know. This film is like the very beginning, and I love the Shire parts. You know, the ring wraiths, all the times in with Gladriel and Elrond, and yeah, it's just like the beginnings of all those things, and it just like makes me so happy. Anyway, and then on the 24th, which is Christmas Eve, I was able to watch The Two Towers, of course, which was probably my favorite growing up of the film series. And yeah, it's just like, this is like the most, I would say, some of the most fun in the franchise. Like, you know, things are like building up. As you can see, Isengard is now a new force and is attacking Rohan. And yeah, and then the Treebeard and the Ents maybe take some revenge on Isengard. But anyway, highly recommend this one, of course. I mean, these films are things that you probably have seen before in the past. And then finally on Christmas Day, I was able to watch Return of the King, and I actually woke up first thing in the morning because I had things going on that day, obviously with family. So I'm just like, I got to get 4 hours in for Return of the King before I do anything. So I woke up at like 5 in the morning, which is not too far off when I wake up anyway. But yeah, I watched this in the like first thing in the morning, and I loved every minute of it. And yeah, this is a lot of people's favorites too. Of course, you know, it's notorious for how many endings it has, but it's just such an emotional journey. I teared up again, as I do every time with Samwise, especially. You know, probably everyone's favorite Fellowship member is him, but for me, it's Boromir, which is not a fan favorite, but these extended editions really do add a lot of depth with him and Faramir, his brother. But anyway, I was able to watch these films right here for the Christmas holiday, and you know, it's been a second since I've seen them, which is a shame. I should watch them annually every year, but with the increasing amount of films that I just keep purchasing, and I know some of you who are watching this might be like, oh yeah, me too. You know, it's harder to rewatch things unless it's like something that's so important to you that you need to rewatch it. So watching the Harry Potter films and the Lord of the Ring trilogy right here on 4K, this was amazing. And also, speaking of the 4Ks, you know, these 4Ks right here from Warner Brothers are just okay. I will say that there are parts that are like wonderful and look fantastic, and then there's other parts just kind of like with Harry Potter, as I was mentioning, the first couple of films of Harry Potter. This was filmed in the early 2000s, so the CGI does not transfer very well, and when they upscale those, it's kind of noticeable, and that's kind of where maybe some of the fault in these films lie with the 4K transfers. Regardless, I had a really great time. I'm glad that I have them on 4K. I have them on DVD. Actually, they're off camera, but I have the Blu-ray set over there. That's with all the extended appendices. Can't talk. Which has all the legacy features on it, and yeah, obviously I watch those when I get the chance to too, which is hours and hours of content. But Lord of the Rings, favorite trilogy of all time, will never not be. Just such an emotional and a fantastic journey. And I remember when I watched them in theaters, and I was, you know, I was coming up in my preteen years around that time period, and absolutely loved every second of those years. So anyway, I watched those, and I continued my fantasy journey. Oddly enough, I went to television, and because I just did not have time to watch films very much. In fact, I have actually 2 films to show you in a second, but I decided to watch some television and catch up on some things. So I watched the new season of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which I really love. I rewatched What We Do in the Shadows Season 3 with my best friend. But I also watched, because I was in a fantasy mood, you know, Robert Jordan's The Wheel of Time, which actually I have the first 3 books here, because I finished the first season, which just came out on Prime, and I was like, I really like this series, and so I want to read the books, which I know are different from the television adaptation from Prime. You can find this show on Amazon Prime, by the way. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I was, like I said, I was still in a fantasy mood. Obviously, the first season's like 8 episodes long, and there's some character development that is not really shown because it's 8 episodes, right? You're not spending too much time with these characters. Some things are rushed, I'm sure, but I'll know more about it once I read the books. And I know that the books are a little bit more adventurous and more youth-oriented, so whereas the show is a little bit more, I guess, trying to garner the people who like Game of Thrones, and so it's a little bit more violent, but I don't have a problem either way. I can separate the two. And usually I watch things first before I read them, so I have appreciation for both sides. That's just how I adapt things, because I don't want to be disappointed. I want to read something and then just be disappointed by the adaptation. That's just me, though. But anyway, yeah, I can't wait to read this book series. I'm probably going to get onto that very, very soon. And actually, right now, as we're speaking, I'm watching The Witcher Season 2, trying to catch up on that, because I'm just in a fantasy mode right now. And then the last two films I'll talk about, then we'll wrap things up in just a second. All right, and these last two films I want to talk about that I've been watching is apparently this is actually from Kino Lorber. There's actually a recall on this, so if anyone pick this one up, make sure you visit their site to get a disc replacement, because I did not know this, and I want to say a viewer helped me out on this one. But I did purchase Hard Target on 4K, which actually became really kind of scarce for a second, from John Woo, Jean-Claude Van Damme. I watched this with a good friend of mine, and we had an absolute blast with this movie. But like I said, there is an issue with the disc itself. I was just having too much fun with my friend to really like pay attention to like what potentially could have been off. But anyway, yes, if there is a disc replacement, and I sent my my inquiry in, and I got back from them. So eventually that will happen and get a proper disc for this release. But this was a lot of fun. I had not seen this film before, but this is like all 90s goodness. Yeah, it's just like ridiculous too. It cracked me up, the amount of sequences that I didn't expect. There's a snake scene. They're in the bayou, and it's just it's insane, and it's so much fun. And I definitely needed some action in my life, especially comedic gold like this, and Jean-Claude Van Damme badassery. And then the thing that I watched for New Year's Eve is my best friend was in town, and so he was like we're like, well, what do we watch for New Year's? I'm like, I don't know, what are we gonna watch? So we decided on the 1976 television film King Kong. I think 76, I want to say. Yeah, set 1976. So this is the adaptation. This is from Scream Factory. I've been waiting to watch this for a second. I know it came out earlier, a few months ago, from Scream Factory, and yeah, I was very happy to see this. We saw the TV, the version of it, so it was like 182 minutes. The television cut is a lot of fun. This is a lot of fun. Obviously the effects are the effects, right? It's a television movie, but it was really, really great. I really enjoyed. Let's see, Jessica Lange, which made her debut. I didn't know that, and obviously Jeff Bridges, who are our two main characters in this film. Just seeing them as young stars was just so much fun. And Kong, I love this sequence, and this was such a fun movie. I love this artwork right here, and him fighting the snake right here. That was a really great scene. It's kind of hard to rank all the Kong films. The 30s Kong is the best. I grew up with the Peter Jackson one, because obviously that was his next project after Lord of the Rings. I enjoyed that as well. But yeah, this is a lot of fun too, and I recommend it. So if anyone hasn't seen this TV version of King Kong, I recommend it. It's really, really great. But that's all I watched for the month of December, and I guess January 1st for Kong. But I also was able to watch the first film in the All the Haunts Be Ours box set, which I'll actually be talking about in depth further and further later on this month. I plan on watching all the films in this box set. I love it. Kayla Janice curated this box set and also directed the first film, and added to it too, as well, as she's one of the people that's interviewed in the film. But it's a documentary on folk horror. It is Woodlands Dark and Days Bewitched, and it's a history of folk horror, and it's fantastic. I love it. And I'll talk more about that later on when I do a separate video of that. But I really love this box set. Cannot wait to go further. I think I'm going to watch the second film in the box, the second disc, and do that today since I have time. But besides that, like I said, this is the new year, and so I'm wanting to talk a little bit more in depth about some things going up and coming up. Usually we have things like resolutions and whatnot like that. I'm kind of disillusioned with that, because there's nice goals in mind to have for the new year, but for me and for the channel, what I want to do is kind of what I'm doing in December, right? I was able to step back a little bit and like not have this fear of missing out and catching up and watching all these different crazy things that are coming out and whatnot, and trying to keep up with everything, because there's there's honestly too much. There's honestly too much to keep up on with and watch. So I decided to watch things that I hadn't seen in a bit, upgraded of course, and yeah, enjoy my time with that. So I'm going to be a little bit more cautious this year, I think, with what I'm watching, but I do want to, like, jump into sets like this, and also other sets like the Zhang Yimou set, which I think I'm going to jump in February. These are all, things that I plan on doing in my mind, but obviously, times change, things change, but, that's what's so fun about this whole entire aspect of being in this space, is that we're all watching different things at different times, and it's really interesting to see that. And I think a lot of you who are watching this right now know that, and I think that's the reason why you might be watching this channel, is because everyone has different tastes, and everyone has different things that they're watching at the current moment, and that's what's so fun about it. And it also helps recommend some titles and some releases that people haven't thought about in a bit, or like have been on people's radar, and they're like, oh yeah, I haven't seen that, I forgot about that, or I still have that on my shelf unwatched. And that's what this is all about. And so that's what my plan this year is to really kind of focus on, is just enjoy what I'm doing, and I hope that you enjoy the ride as well. But before we go, I will say there's going to be some videos coming up of my complete Blu-ray collection. I like to do this annually, which I know a lot of people are interested in, hopefully. But yeah, I'm going to be going through this in 3 videos, I think, because I have 3 shelves now. And I'm going to just go through each shelf as quickly as I can, just kind of briefly just mentioning the title of the films that I have. And yeah, if there's any more depth that wants to be added, if you're interested in that, when that comes out, let me know in those comment sections. And yeah, besides that, and absolutely last thing before we go, is that on the 21st of January, I'm going to be doing a live Q&A, right? I want as many people as possible to join for the 5th anniversary, and also crossing the milestone of 2,500 subscribers. It's just, like I said, it's just wonderful that we've come this far. So, join me for that. And yeah, if you want to submit your questions right now, and I can already, kind of get some things going in my mind and help you with that. But yeah, for new subscribers and old subscribers, I love hearing from you, and I love seeing your comments down in the comment section down below. So anyway, this was a crazy video with a bunch of information, but I had a lot to talk about in the first video of the new year. So anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you can give it a like, comment down below, share, hit the notification bell, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. I'm not Jonesing around.